Can you say hi?
Hi.
What is the psalm that we're doing today? Psalm 25.
Sammy 5.
25? Which one? I hope you enjoyed that introduction of this psalm as much as I did. In case you weren't able to hear Della whisper, we're going to be looking at Psalm 25. And I want us to think about two questions as we read the psalm. The first is, what is God up to? The second is, how is God guiding us during these uncertain days? Let's read Psalm 25 together. To you, O Lord, I lift up my soul. O my God, in you I trust. Let me not be put to shame. Let not my enemies exult over me. Indeed, none who wait for you shall be put to shame. They shall be ashamed who are wantonly treacherous. Make me to know your ways, O Lord. Teach me your paths. Lead me in your truth and teach me. For you are the God of my salvation. For you I wait all the day long. Remember your mercy, O Lord, and your steadfast love, for they have been from old. Remember not the sins of my youth, or my transgressions, according to your steadfast love. Remember me, for the sake of your goodness, O Lord. Good and upright is the Lord. Therefore he instructs sinners in the way. He leads the humble in what is right, and he teaches the humble his way. All the paths of the Lord are steadfast love and faithfulness for those who keep his covenant and his testimonies. For your name's sake, O Lord, pardon my guilt, for it is great. Who is the man who fears the Lord? Him will he instruct in the way that he should choose. His soul shall abide in well-being, and his offspring shall inherit the land. The friendship of the Lord is for those who fear him, and he makes known to them his covenant. My eyes are ever toward the Lord, for he will pluck my feet out of the net. Turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am lonely and afflicted. The troubles of my heart are enlarged. Bring me out of my distress. Consider my affliction and my trouble, and forgive all my sins. Consider how many are my foes, and with what violent hatred they hate me. O guard my soul and deliver me. Let me not be put to shame, for I take refuge in you. May integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait for you. Redeem Israel, O God, out of his troubles. My dad is an engineer by trade and a wonderful Bible teacher. One of my favorite books that he loved to teach us growing up was Experiencing God by Henry Blackaby. It was very popular in the 90s. The big question of that book is, how can we know what God is up to? How can we experience God? And it's a question that many of us have been asking lately. And in the book, he talks about several realities of experiencing God. And the one that always stuck with me was this: that God invites us to become involved with him in his work. And if that's true, then a question we have to ask ourselves is, what is God up to? And how can we join him in that work? And this psalm couldn't be any clearer in giving us an answer. God is the one who is guiding us. He is the one who leads us, verse 9. He instructs us, verse 12. And he is directing us even now. This psalm reminded me of that great proverb, Proverbs 16:9, that the heart of a man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. Everything in the world right now seems like it's out of control, like there is no certainty, that there's no path forward, there's no guide. But God has a plan, and he is leading us through it. I want to focus on two verses in this psalm, verses 12 through 14. That phrase, that question that begins verse 12, who is the man that fears the Lord? For those who fear the Lord. That phrase is just an Old Testament expression of living in faith. God is, at the end of verse 12, instructing in the way that he should choose. And it's a little bit of a tongue twister. You might have to read it a few times like I did, which he is God here in this verse. But verse 12 is telling us that God has chosen us. He has chosen this path for us. Do you believe that? Right now in this moment that God has chosen this path for us. That God will show you the way forward. That God will instruct you during these uncertain times. The good news is we can take some confidence from the psalmist in verse 14, which reads, "The friendship of the Lord is for those who fear him, and he makes known to them his covenant." How does he make known to them his covenant? We just celebrated it at Easter. Jesus tells us in John 15:13, "Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends." Jesus made his covenant love known for us by laying down his life for his friends, for you and for me. And that is an amazing truth, that God is the one who is guiding us, even or especially during these uncertain times. From our family to yours, we'll see you soon.